I used to scroll endlessly through my phone, losing hours without realizing it. I wanted to grow, to do better, but life felt stuck, like each day was a copy of the one before. Then, one small decision began to change everything. I started reading every single day. Not just when I felt motivated, not only on weekends, every single day, no matter what. 5 pages, 10 minutes, one chapter. It didn't matter how much. What mattered was the habit. And over time, that simple habit completely transformed the way I think, work, and live. When I first started, I didn't expect much. Honestly, I thought reading was just for learning facts, a thing you do for school or work. But soon I realized that every book I opened was actually a doorway, a chance to step into someone else's mind, to learn from their journey without living it myself. One day I'd be reading about business strategy. The next, I'd be exploring philosophy, psychology, or biographies of great people. Each page offered lessons that slowly built something inside me. Perspective. And perspective changes everything. It's funny, when you read regularly, your world suddenly becomes bigger. You start seeing patterns between ideas. You recognize how problems repeat throughout history, how people who faced impossible struggles found their way through. And then one day, when life tests you, you realize something powerful. You already know what to do. The wisdom you've been feeding your mind shows up when you need it most. Before I started this habit, I thought confidence was something you were born with, but it isn't. Real confidence comes from competence, from knowing things, understanding the world, and making sense of yourself within it. And that's what reading every day gave me. It rewired the way I think. It taught me to ask better questions, to pause before reacting, to see failure not as an end but as data, feedback for growth. Here's what's interesting. It wasn't only about what I read. It was also about what happened inside me while reading. When you read daily, your attention span lengthens. Your ability to sit still, focus, and think deeply strengthens. In a noisy world, that's almost a superpower. Books became a kind of daily meditation for my mind. Every time I opened one, I was reminded that growth isn't about grand gestures. It's about small, consistent steps. 10 pages a day doesn't sound like much, but over a year, that's over 3,500 pages, roughly 15 to 20 books. That's a huge amount of wisdom accumulated quietly, almost invisibly. Reading also made me more empathetic. I started understanding people better because I'd read about people from all walks of life, their fears, their dreams, their mistakes, their hopes. You can't judge easily once you've seen the world through so many different eyes. Another big change was how reading shaped my mindset around time. Before, I used to say, I don't have time to read. Now I realize the truth. I always had time. I just didn't have priorities. 10 minutes before bed, 15 minutes during breakfast, 20 minutes on the bus. Every small moment matters. And when you stack those moments, they change your entire outlook. The real secret wasn't motivation. It was momentum. When I read every day, I didn't need to push myself anymore. The habit carried me forward. It became my anchor, a part of who I am. And it doesn't even matter what you start with. Whether it's novels, biographies, self-help books, or science, every genre adds something valuable. Fiction expands imagination and empathy. Non-fiction sharpens logic and perspective. All that knowledge connects, creating a stronger foundation for growth. But maybe the most beautiful part of reading daily is what it does to your inner voice. After a while, the language of books starts shaping the way you think. You start noticing the words you use, the stories you tell yourself, the limits you set, and you begin rewriting them. I used to think reading was just about information. Now I see it's about transformation. It doesn't just fill your mind, it changes it. It makes you more curious, more patient, more alive. Now, when I look back at who I was before I built this habit, I see a version of myself that was reactive, easily distracted, unsure. Reading didn't make my problems disappear, but it gave me the mindset to face them. It gave structure to my chaos and turned my downtime into growth time. And here's the thing. If reading every day can change me, it can change anyone. You don't have to read for hours. Start small. 1 chapter, 1 page, 1 moment of silence with a book. Let it be your time to reset, to learn, to breathe. Because every page adds up, every idea compounds. The person you'll be a year from now is shaped by the pages you turn today. So if there's one message I want you to take from my story, it's this. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Reading every day taught me that transformation doesn't begin with intensity. It begins with consistency.